Our test, we are covering World War I, causes of World War I, events of World War I, the effects of World War I, and we're also covering Russian Revolution, causes of the Russian Revolution, and events of the Russian Revolution. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Everybody clear? You understand what's going to be on the test?
Yes.
Great. All right, so let's cover World War I causes. Okay, so, ladies and gentlemen, you have all of this information. This is information you had before you went on break. We talked about it in your War Council projects. Now, generally, we know we had like 10 countries that we needed to remember, correct?
Yes.
Now, I also wanted to make sure that you are aware of certain regions that you need to know about. These are going to probably be on your test in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so you know about Europe. Who are the great powers in Europe? And they're divided into alliances. So who are those great powers?
France.
Okay, Europe. We have France,
Russia.
Great Britain,
Russia.
Russia.
Austria.
We have Austria.
Hungary. Ottoman Empire.
Technically not in Europe, but good.
Italy.
Italy,
Japan.
not in Europe. Hey, you're on my YouTube. Okay. Anyone else? Germany. Okay, great. So those are the major countries in in Europe. What are these ones alliance called?
Triple Alliance.
No. Okay, and then what is this alliance called? Now, are these the only countries that we need to worry about in Europe before World War I?
No.
Now, I want to talk about, you're correct, it is not the only ones. There are other regions that you need to know about. We talked about, in Europe, we also have the Balkan Peninsula. It has a nickname. Does anybody know the nickname of the Balkan Peninsula? Yeah? This was in your book. It's called the powder keg of Europe. Okay, so powder keg of Europe. What is a powder keg?
Powder
What's it powder for? Anybody know?
Wait, what?
What is a powder keg? It's like a big barrel of powder. What do they use that particular kind of powder for?
Bread.
Not exactly for bullets, but you're on the right track. They use a certain powder.
Okay.
What's that? Gunpowder. So this is for gunpowder. Why would they call the Balkan Peninsula the powder keg filled with gunpowder of Europe? Well, yes, it is what they use. But why would they call this particular area that gunpowder keg of Europe? It's not the most powerful. Whoa, now blah, 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 blah.
Well, start with that.
Nope.
Sorry?
Not industrialized. Nope. You're on the right track, and when I say the correct answer, you'll be like, that's what I meant. What did you say again? No, that's not good.
Okay.
That's a whole nother key term right there.
Wasn't the Balkan Peninsula something that a lot of them fought over and what they also like went through for access?
Very good. Okay, so the Balkan Peninsula is the area of Europe where there's the most friction, there's the most contention, there's the most tension between countries. Okay? The Balkan Peninsula includes within it Serbia. Here's another area you need to know. Bosnia Herzegovina. Now, why is Bosnia Herzegovina so important? What happened in Bosnia Herzegovina? in Sarajevo. No? No one? Don't want to look at your notes? Come on, let's go. Something happened in this city, and it triggered the war.
Oh, when they killed France.
Very good. Okay. Let's not use the word kill. What's a better word? What happened? Assassinated. I like it. Assassinated. Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, right now what we're getting to are the causes, right? These are some key terms that you needed to know about what causes World War I. Okay? You need to know the Triple Entente. You need to know the Triple Alliance. You need to know this powder keg of Europe. And you need to know about the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Good? Why are these all causes of World War I? Okay, so we have these alliances themselves. The alliances, these particular countries were allied against which country? What were they afraid of?
Russia.
No,
Germany.
France, Great Britain, and Russia were allied against which country? Very good. Germany. They don't like Germany. Right. That's not a good one. They don't like Germany. Does that make sense? Okay? They do not like Germany. They're afraid Germany is getting too powerful. What is Germany doing that is making people think that they're too powerful? Yes.
Military's too powerful.
Yes. These people are militarizing themselves. What is it to militarize? What is militarism? Yes.
To have a higher advanced like weapons than other countries.
Very good. You're building up, build up your army or your armed forces, your military. What's another thing? Another definition of this. Not only you're building up your armed forces, what else? You have an army ready for war. And that was what we talked about in all of our War Council presentations, right? Every country was saying, this is how many soldiers that we have. This is how many warships we have. This is how many tanks and different kinds of weapons we have ready, correct? So that all has to do with militarism. Militarism itself is a cause of World War I because this militarizing, Germany's militarizing and building up of their armed forces causes 3 countries to freak out and create an alliance against them. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Everybody clear? Now, we have 3 other countries allied together. Why are they allied? Who were they afraid of? France. Now, you kind of know why this is. All of these countries do not like France. We studied about France. What ruler in France tried to take over all of Europe? Napoleon. Now, that's way back when in the 1800s. But his influence, his wars were so terrible and so memorable that Austria and Italy and Germany, even over 100 years later, were united against France because they were afraid if France got too powerful, that France would try to take over them again, like they did under Napoleon. Does this make sense? Is everybody clear? Okay, now, what was the problem? How come these alliances, so we figured out how militarizing leads to alliances. How did alliances lead to war?
Didn't they put the League of Nations on Germany?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're talking about the effects of World War I. We're still causes. Back it up, back it up, back it up.
Didn't they cross that treaty that France made with another country? I forgot the name. That they couldn't cross over, but they did.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you have a situation where, well, you're close. If one country out of this whole alliance gets involved in war, what do the other countries most likely have to do? Actually, let me clarify. If one country in this alliance, in the Triple Alliance, gets involved in a war, what will the other countries have to do?
Defend.
They will have to defend. If, say, Austria-Hungary gets involved in a war with another country, then Italy and Germany have to back them up. Now, is that the same situation here in the Triple Entente?
No.
No, that's not the same in the Triple Entente. These countries do not have to defend, say, if Russia gets involved in a war. France and Great Britain are not required to back them up. What they are required to do is not attack Russia. Does that make sense? Everybody clear? Okay, so we have different kinds of alliances. Now, why did I circle Austria-Hungary?
Because that's where it started.
Yes, why did it start with Austria-Hungary?
Because supposedly that dude got assassinated.
Yes, Archduke Franz Ferdinand gets assassinated. Where does he get assassinated?
Bonzo.
Bosnia-Herzegovina, specifically in the city of Sarajevo. And where is this country? In the Powder Keg of Europe. And the reason why it's called the Powder Keg of Europe, lots of countries, and we have lots of countries fighting over this area. Now, you have small countries who want independence. What's one example of a small country that wanted independence in this area? Anyone?
Serbia.
Serbia! Hey, Serbia right here is a small country that wanted independence in the Powder Keg of Europe. You also have large empires fighting for influence in the Balkans, in this area. Now, which countries wanted to control this area? Which countries wanted to control this area? Austria-Hungary. They used to control a lot of this area. Remember, Serbia got their independence from Austria-Hungary by fighting in a war, by revolting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And so Austria-Hungary wants to keep control over this area. There's another empire that we did not write up here because they don't belong in Europe. They were also fighting over this area.
Ottoman Empire?
The Ottoman Empire also wants control over this area. It used to have control over this area, but it's very weak, right? It's all backwards. And so they're trying to maintain some control over this area. Another empire doesn't want to own the area, doesn't want to imperialize this area, but it wants to help free smaller nations because they are very similar in their heritage.
Arabia?
No.
Russia?
Russia, very good. Which is why Russia and Austria-Hungary and Serbia are all circled, because this is what starts it off. Who assassinates the Archduke Franz Ferdinand?
One of the Serbians.
No, not the country of Serbia, but a
terrorist.
terrorist who was Serbian. Very good. The Black Hand is a Serbian terrorist group. It is not the country of Serbia. It's not the official government, but they are in that area, much like the Al-Qaeda is hiding out in Afghanistan. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Yeah. We're not fighting out the Afghan government. We're trying to find the Taliban within Afghanistan. You get the difference? Same thing. Black Hand, terrorist group inside Serbia, not the official government. The Black Hand sends a terrorist who assassinates Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Who does Austria blame?
Serbia.
Serbia, right? And so then Austria and Serbia go to war. They're at war. And who comes to Serbia's aid?
Russia.
Russia, why?
Because they're allies.
They are allies. Yay, they're helping each other out. Does this make sense? Now, when Russia comes to Serbia's aid, what does that put into motion? The Triple Alliance. Who comes to Austria's aid? Which actual country comes to Austria's aid?
Germany.
Only Germany comes to Austria's aid. Now we're getting into the actual events of World War I. Are we clear now?